Picture this. You're sitting in your living room in the suburbs of Austin, or maybe a quiet street in New Jersey. You've done everything right. You work 40+ hours a week. You skip the daily Starbucks run, just like the gurus told you to, and you keep a mental tab of every major purchase. You think you're in control. But while you're sleeping, something is happening. There isn't a burglar breaking through your window. There's no masked man stealing your car. Yet your wealth is leaking, slowly, silently. Imagine waking up to find that your bank account is missing $20, then $50, then $100. You check your statements, but the names don't ring a bell. You see a charge from a streaming service you haven't opened since the pandemic. You see a convenience fee for a food delivery app that charged you twice the price of the actual meal. You see an out-of-network ATM fee because you were in a rush and didn't want to walk 2 extra blocks. In the financial world, we call these vampire costs. They don't kill you with one giant bite. They drain you drop by drop until you're too weak to build real wealth. Most Americans think they are poor because they don't earn enough. But the forensic math tells a darker story. We are living in an era of passive predation. Companies have spent billions of dollars on psychological triggers to make spending money painless. They've removed the friction. One-click buys, auto-renewals, and shadow taxes that you've been conditioned to ignore. My name is Bond, and this is exactly why I started Bond Money Mind. In a world designed to keep you financially blind, this channel is your lens to see the invisible equations that are keeping you broke. If you're ready to stop being a victim of the system and start mastering your own financial psychology, hit that subscribe button now. Join the Bond Money Mind community, where we strip away the hype and get down to the brutal truth of how money actually works. Because today, we aren't just looking at your bank statement. We are performing an autopsy on your financial life. I'm going to show you how the lazy tax is costing the average American household over $5,000 a year, and more importantly, how the system is designed to keep you from ever noticing it's gone. You aren't losing money because you're careless. You're losing money because you're a victim of a sophisticated mathematical trap. It's time to stop the bleeding. I've mapped out the entire anatomy of these vampire costs into a visual mind map. It's a bird's eye view of exactly how the system is wired to drain you. Download it in the description, study it, and stop being a line item in their profit reports. Now, before you start feeling guilty, I have a confession to make. Even as someone who spends every waking hour studying the mechanics of wealth, I fell into this exact same trap. A few months ago, I decided to do a forensic audit on my own. Chase and American Express statements. I thought I was optimized. I thought I was the one person who couldn't be fooled by the system. But there it was, hidden in plain sight. A $14.99 recurring charge for a premium weather app I used once during a trip to Florida 3 years ago. A $45 annual membership fee for a retail store in a city I don't even live in anymore. When I actually sat down and did the brutal math, I realized I had leaked nearly $1,200 in a single year on services I didn't even remember signing up for. If it can happen to me, someone who runs Bond Money Mind, it is almost certainly happening to you. This isn't about being bad with money. It's about how the modern American economy is designed to weaponize your busy schedule against your bank account. Right now, I want you to do something uncomfortable. Pull up your banking app. Scroll through the last 30 days. Don't look for the big rent payment or the car note. Look for the small stuff. Look for the $9.99 cloud storage fees, the $1,200 digital subscriptions, and the convenience fees from DoorDash or Uber Eats that added 40% to the price of a cold burger. This is what I call the mirror. This isn't just coffee money. This is a reflection of a financial life that has been intentionally blurred by corporations. They've removed the pain of paying. In the old days, you'd pull a physical $20 bill out of your wallet and feel it leave your hand. Today, it's a face scan, a haptic buzz on your wrist, and the money is gone before your brain even registers the transaction. Most of us feel like we're running on a hedonic treadmill. We work harder. We finally get that promotion at the office. But at the end of every month, the balance is always the same. We're told by finance gurus that we're poor because we buy too much avocado toast. But that's a lie. You aren't struggling because of a $5 latte. You're struggling because you are being bled dry by vampire costs, 1,000 tiny, invisible cuts that the system has conditioned you to ignore. The banks and the tech giants are counting on the fact that you are too tired from your 9 to 5 to ever look closely at the numbers. They are betting on your fatigue. But today, we stop playing their game. It's time to move past the surface and perform a full anatomy of the enemy to see exactly where your freedom is being stolen. To help you execute the Exorcism protocol, I've put together a strategic step-by-step roadmap. It's the exact framework I used to audit my own life. No fluff, just the brutal steps you need to take right now to reclaim your financial sovereignty. Grab the PDF below and let's get to work. To defeat an enemy, you first have to name it. We like to think of our expenses as a single pile of bills, but the lazy tax is far more sophisticated. It's a multi-layered system designed to catch you at every stage of your day. We're going to perform a forensic audit on the 4 specific categories of vampire costs that are draining the average American household. Category 1. The zombie subscriptions. These are the silent killers of the digital age. In the US, the average person spends over $200 a month on subscriptions, and most don't even realize it. It's the set it and forget it trap. You signed up for that 7-day free trial of a streaming service to watch one documentary, and 3 years later, you're still paying $18.99 a month for content you never watch. It's the premium gym membership you keep just in case you decide to go, and the cloud storage for photos you'll never look at. This is passive predation. It's money leaving your pocket for zero value in return. Category 2. The convenience tax. This is the price you pay for being tired. We live in a convenience economy. When you're exhausted after a 10-hour shift, paying an extra $15 for DoorDash delivery seems like a small price to pay. But let's look at the brutal math. Between the delivery fee, the service fee, the small order fee, and the tip, that $15 burrito just cost you $28. If you do this twice a week, you're paying a convenience tax of over $1,100 a year. You aren't paying for food, you're paying for the frictionless experience that the system sold you. Category 3. The loyalty tax. This is perhaps the most insulting one. In America, many companies, especially insurance, internet, and cell phone providers, actually penalize their most loyal customers. They offer massive discounts to new signups while slowly hiking the rates on long-term users. They bet on your inertia. They know you're too busy to spend 30 minutes on the phone negotiating a better rate. This loyalty tax is a fine for staying still. It's a transfer of wealth from people who are too busy to people who understand the hidden mechanics of the market. Category 4. The chaos tax. This is the cost of a disorganized life. It's the $35 overdraft fee because you didn't check your balance before a small purchase. It's the late fee on a credit card because you forgot the due date. It's the out-of-network ATM fee because you didn't plan ahead. Individually, these feel like annoyances, but collectively, they are a mathematical trap designed to punish the working class for simply trying to survive a chaotic week. When you add these up, we aren't talking about spare change. For a middle-class family in Los Angeles or Chicago, these 4 categories can easily total $500 to $700 a month. That is a car payment. That is a college fund. That is your freedom being sold back to you in tiny, bite-sized pieces. But here is the real question. Why do we let this happen? Why does our brain allow us to ignore these invisible equations? To understand that, we have to move from the bank statement to the laboratory. We have to look at the cognitive cost of being poor in a world that is designed to be expensive. I've distilled the most shocking, invisible equations into a single infographic. This is the brutal math they don't want you to see. One look at this, and you'll never see a $15 burrito or a $10 subscription the same way again. It's your new financial lens. Now, we have to ask the most important question. How did we get here? Why is the smartest dogs generation in history, with more financial tools than ever before, falling for these elementary traps? The answer isn't in your bank account. It's in your brain. We are witnessing what I call the Great Decoupling. For thousands of years, humans had a physical, visceral relationship with resources. If you wanted to buy something, you had to count physical gold, silver, or paper bills. There was a psychological phenomenon called the pain of paying. Your brain's insular cortex, the same part that processes physical pain, would literally light up when you handed over cash. You felt the loss. But the modern financial system has spent billions of dollars to surgically remove that pain. We've moved from active ownership to passive subscription. In America today, we don't own things anymore. We just rent access to them. We don't buy a car, we lease it. We don't buy a movie, we subscribe to a platform. We don't even buy software, we pay a monthly SaaS fee. By turning everything into a small, recurring monthly payment, corporations have bypassed your brain's defense mechanisms. Your mind doesn't see a $2,400 a year expense. It only sees just $119 a month. This is a shift from high friction to zero friction. And in physics, when you remove friction, things move faster. In finance, when you remove friction, your money disappears faster. The system has weaponized decision fatigue. Think about your typical Tuesday. You've had 6 Zoom meetings, you're worried about your mortgage, you're stressed about the news, and you're trying to figure out what's for dinner. At 6:00 p.m., your brain is exhausted. This is exactly when the convenience tax strikes. You don't have the mental bandwidth to cook, so you tap a button on an app. You don't have the energy to check if that subscription renewed, so you let it slide. Corporations are essentially mining your exhaustion. They know that a tired person is a profitable person. They've turned your lack of time into their revenue stream. This is the systemic villain. It isn't just one bad company. It's an entire ecosystem designed to keep you in a state of cognitive fog. They want you to stay in the autopilot mode. Because the moment you wake up, the moment you reintroduce friction back into your life, their profit margins collapse. To win this war, you have to stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like a forensic accountant. You have to realize that every easy transaction is a small surrender of your future freedom. It's time to stop the passive predation and start the active reclamation of your life. Are you actually in control, or are you just another victim? I've designed a sovereignty quiz to test your financial awareness. It takes 2 minutes. Click the link below, take the test, and drop your score in the comments. Let's see who's actually paying attention. We have diagnosed the disease. We have identified the parasite. Now it is time for the exorcism. If you want to stop the bleeding and take back control of your life, you cannot use the same digital tools that got you into this mess. You cannot fight a sophisticated algorithm with a half-hearted New Year's resolution. You need a ruthless protocol. Step 1. The physical audit. This weekend, I want you to do something that seems primitive. I want you to go to your bank or sit at your computer and print out your last 3 months of statements. Yes, on physical paper. Remember what we talked about? We are reintroducing friction. Take a red highlighter, not a digital one, a real physical red marker, and circle every single recurring charge, every $4.99, every $1,500. Look at the paper. Feel the weight of it. When you see those red circles covering the page, your brain will finally stop seeing convenience and start seeing theft. Step 2. The ruthless purge. Apply the 30-day ghost rule. If you haven't used a service in the last 30 days, kill it. Don't pause it. Don't downgrade the plan. Kill it. Companies count on your sunk cost fallacy, the idea that you might need it someday. You won't. If you truly need it later, the friction of resubscribing will serve as a guardrail to ensure it's a conscious choice, not an accidental one. Step 3. Reintroducing friction. Go into your phone right now. Delete your saved credit card information from Amazon, DoorDash, and Uber Eats. Turn off Face ID for purchases. Force yourself to walk to your wallet and manually type in 16 digits every time you want to buy something. This simple 10-second delay is often enough to break the dopamine loop and allow your rational brain to override your impulsive one. You are reclaiming your financial sovereignty. But as we close this autopsy, I want you to look beyond the dollar signs. Because the lazy tax isn't really about money. Money is just a proxy. What these companies are actually stealing from you is time. In America, we are taught that wealth is a big house, a shiny car, and a premium subscription to everything. But that is a curated lie. Real wealth is the ability to say no. It's the ability to wake up on a Tuesday morning and decide how you spend your hours because you aren't a slave to 1,000 tiny debts. Every time you cancel a zombie subscription or bypass a convenience fee, you aren't just saving $10. You are buying back a piece of your future. You are buying back the hours you would have spent working a job you hate just to pay for a service you don't use. This is the philosophy of Bond Money Mind. We don't just want you to have a bigger bank account, we want you to have a bigger life. We want you to stop being a line item in a corporation's quarterly earnings report and start being the architect of your own time. The system is designed to keep you tired, distracted, and broke. But now you have the lens. You see the invisible equations. You know the forensic math. The bleeding stops today. My name is Bond. Thank you for watching. And remember, wealth isn't about what you own. It's about how much of yourself you've managed to keep. I'll see you in the next investigation.